She sent one fax. Japan still can't find the machine. A single sheet of paper. One transmission. 12 words. And then, silence. The woman who sent that fax has never been found. The machine she sent it from has never been identified. And the message itself, investigators still argue about what it actually means. But to understand why that fax changed everything, you need to know what came first. In this video, we'll look at the strange disappearance that started this case, the fax that showed up days later with information only the missing woman could have known, and at the end, I'll show you the one detail that completely changes how investigators now read that message. Stay with me. This one gets complicated. Chapter 1. The disappearance. It was an ordinary Tuesday in a mid-sized Japanese city. A woman in her early 30s, we'll call her Akemi, because her real name has never been officially released, left her apartment building at roughly 7 in the evening. Neighbors confirmed they heard her door close. They saw her descend the stairs. And then she was simply gone. Her purse was left at home. Her phone was on the kitchen table. No financial activity. No transport records. No CCTV captures confirmed as her. The case was filed as a missing persons report within 72 hours. But investigators noted something unusual from the very start. There was no sign of struggle. No forced exit. No known reason to run. Akemi had no debt. No reported conflicts. She had worked the next morning and food had already been prepared for dinner. She had every reason to stay. And no visible reason to go. Chapter 2. The fax. 4 days after she disappeared, a fax arrived at a local community center. Staff didn't notice it at first. It was mixed in with routine weekly announcements. But when someone actually read it, they called the police immediately. The fax contained 12 words and a partial address. The partial address referred to a warehouse district on the edge of the city, a specific block. Not a building. Just a block. And here's the first thing that made investigators stop cold. The 12 words included a detail about Akemi's apartment that had never been made public. The exact color of her bedroom curtains. Officially, that information had not appeared in any report. It wasn't on social media. Her family had not discussed it publicly. So whoever sent that fax had either been inside her apartment or was Akemi herself. And that changes the entire shape of this case. Chapter 3. Tracing the machine. Police moved immediately to trace the origin of the fax. In Japan at the time, fax transmissions carried a header, a numerical identifier tied to the originating machine. The header on this fax was corrupted. Not completely unreadable, but incomplete enough that the exact machine could not be pinpointed. Technicians determined it had been sent through a relay, meaning the fax passed through at least one intermediate line before reaching its destination. This was not unusual for businesses. It was unusual for an individual. The relay pointed to a neighborhood in the warehouse district. The same neighborhood referenced in the fax itself. Detectives searched the area. They found 3 locations with active fax lines. 2 were clearly in operation and accounted for by their owners. The third was a small storage unit attached to a commercial building, locked, and according to city records, had been unoccupied for over a year. But when officers forced entry, the phone line was live. And the fax machine was warm. Someone had been there. Within hours. Chapter 4. What the room held. The storage unit became the center of the investigation. Forensics found fingerprints. Several sets. None of them matched Akemi. But they also found something unexpected on the floor near the fax machine. A single hair. DNA testing confirmed it was a match for Akemi. She had been in that room. But whether she had sent the fax willingly, or been forced to, or had been trying to leave a clue, investigators could not determine. The 12 words in the fax were examined in detail by linguists brought in to consult. The phrasing was described as, and I want to be precise here, grammatically fragmented in a way that suggested either extreme stress or deliberate obfuscation. One consultant said it read like someone trying to communicate without being understood by whoever was watching them write it. If that reading is correct, someone was in that room with Akemi when the fax was sent. And whoever it was, let her send a message. But not a clear one. If this is the kind of story you want to follow, the kind of case that doesn't have easy answers but keeps pulling you deeper, consider subscribing. Every week we bring you a case from Japan that the rest of the internet hasn't touched yet. Chapter 5. The investigation stalls despite the DNA confirmation and the location of the fax machine. The investigation hit a wall. The building owner had no knowledge of anyone using the storage unit. Their alibi was verified. The phone line connected to the storage unit had been activated using credentials tied to a company that had dissolved 6 years prior. That company's former directors were located. Interviewed. All eliminated from suspicion. But here's where it gets stranger, and this is the detail I mentioned at the start that changes how you read everything. 3 weeks after the fax, Akemi's name appeared in a routine tax database update. Not her records being queried. Her records being updated. By an internal government worker ID that had been deactivated 2 years earlier. Something, or someone, had used a dead credential to access a live government system and update the file of a missing woman. The update contained no meaningful information. A single field changed. Her registered address had been altered to the warehouse district. The same block referenced in the fax. Chapter 6. Theories and dead ends. By this point, investigators were working with several competing theories. Theory 1. Akemi left voluntarily and sent the fax to communicate with someone specific, someone she trusted at that community center. But no such person was ever identified. Staff who worked the desk that day were interviewed extensively. Nobody claimed to know Akemi or to have been expecting any communication. Theory 2. Akemi was being held against her will and sent the fax as a distress signal, with the curtain detail as a coded identifier to prove identity. This theory gained traction quickly because it explained the fragmented language, if someone else was reading as she typed. But it raised an obvious question: why allow her to send it at all? Theory 3, the one that some investigators considered most disturbing, is that Akemi had discovered something in the warehouse district before she disappeared. Something she wasn't supposed to find. And the fax was not a cry for help but a warning. To someone. About something. A warning that even now, no one has been able to fully decode. Chapter 7. Where the case stands as of the most recent public records available on this case, Akemi has not been found. The investigation remains technically open. But active work has not been documented publicly in years. The storage unit was demolished as part of a commercial redevelopment project. The fax machine was never recovered. And the one detail I said would change everything, the thing about the government database update? Investigators eventually traced the ghost credential back to a specific terminal. A public access terminal in the main branch of a library, in the same city. The CCTV at the library had a gap. 11 minutes of footage from that terminal were simply not recorded. Not corrupted. Not deleted. Just not recorded. The library's maintenance records for that day show no system failures. 11 clean minutes of nothing. During which, someone had access to a live government system. And updated a missing woman's address to a building that had just been searched. Was she there, one more time? Was someone leading investigators back to a scene they'd already cleared? Or was the address change a mistake, a moment of carelessness from someone who had been very, very careful up until then? We don't know. And that is exactly what makes this case what it is. A fax sent from nowhere. A machine that vanished. A woman who knew she was being watched, and still found a way to reach out. And somewhere in 11 missing minutes, the closest thing to an answer this case has ever produced. If you're watching this and you want to keep going, The next case we're covering may actually be stranger than this one. It involves a building in Tokyo that was registered to an address that doesn't physically exist, and the person who lived there for 9 years before anyone noticed. That video is already up. Check the end screen. And if this case made you feel that specific kind of uneasy that real unsolved stories do, subscribe. We'll be here when the next one breaks.